adopting ChatGPT is not being AI native at this point, right? Unless you're injecting AI into your workflows, you're not really AI native. At least I have a functional bank app in my hand. If the banks were building it themselves, I don't think it would have been even 1/10 as good as it is.
Agents are writing codes. People who are actually be able to decipher what is written and then the different levels of it. I think that is going to be fairly important. This is the frontier. This is something new. Every organization in the world is trying to find how to do it.
As much as it is an AI transformation, it is a structural people transformation. Before you even start talking about agents and AI implementation and all of that, is the mindset transformation. Is how do we go from fear to excitement?
When we go into agentic systems, we would need workflow engineers to be a very, very critical part of the talent management department.
Did you join programming just to, just for this moment, just to publicly shame me?
Okay, so welcome to yet another episode of Post AI Nation. So many things are happening in our lives, but today's episode, I want to start with this one thing that you told me 2 episodes back. So there was a frame where you're like, I want to tell all the people that give this guy shit loads of money to not give it and give it $100 to a guy. And now fast forward 3 weeks.
Oh man,
I'm in
yeah.
I'm in program with this team. What do you have to say about it?
Did you join programming just to, just for this moment? Just for
Not
this
really.
moment, just to publicly shame me? Where have we reached?
Where have we reached? But I want to know your thought process. I mean, like obviously all those things are very exploratory conversations, but then I want to understand your thought process and maybe we can discuss how this came out to be, and then probably discuss about AI adoption further.
Sure, yeah. So when we were kind of restructuring our organization chart for kind of a renewed program is right, because obviously the mission of programming for a long time was that we wanted to remove the barriers to coding, and every product we launch from program is remove some barrier. For example, the compiler removes the barrier of requiring a dev environment, right? The website, the programmings.com website, removes the barrier of lack of access to good resources. So all of these barriers, like every product, that was the lens through which we thought of any product that we built for programmers. But LLMs removed that, or achieved our mission in a way. Is LLMs removed all those barriers in one go, or at least in the 3 years since ChatGPT launched. And for some time we were kind of frozen in terms of where we wanted to go, right? Because what do you do when your company's mission gets accomplished? I think it's a hard place to be. And yeah, so we were thinking of, okay, what's the new org structure that we want that will help us go lean into AI instead of being afraid of it, or instead of being frozen in time. And that's why one of the very clear messages was there had to be a separate department of AI, and it had to be a strategic business department, like not revenue generating, because we did not want to go for a local minima with this department, right? Like we could have put it in the revenue high level, like there's the C suite, and then there's revenue generating departments, and there's strategic departments, so HR, admin, finance, right? And when we decided where we want to put AI, we deliberately put it in the strategic business department, because revenue generating departments are always under some pressure to make money in this financial year.
Yeah.
We said AI is just too big, so let's keep it in the strategic business department. Let's not like AI needs to be like super injected inside before we do do anything public. We created the department, and then we started thinking about, okay, who is the right person internally to lead that department? And we realized that there's no one. There's really no one inside the company who is living AI every day, who is kind of AI native in, if you go for your wording. But really, like, there's no one who's experimenting with AI, with the latest and greatest tools in AI. We were doing some few experiments, like adopting ChatGPT is not being AI native at this point, right? Yes, if you were adopting ChatGPT in the very initial days, yes, then you could be called. So even the description of what AI native means is moving so fast. Now I think the new description of who is kind of on the frontiers of AI is, unless you're injecting AI into your workflows, you're not really AI native, right? If you're using, or if you're using only consumer grade AI products, maybe now, that's the baseline. That's not, that's the starting point. So we did not, because we did not have such deep usage of AI within the company. We were really struggling to find someone to lead that department. And um, yeah, and then I think it also became a question of, um there's the education department that's responsible for creating courses. There's a tooling department that's supposed to build the simulated environments, all of that stuff, and the internal tooling as well, right? The communication channel, all of that, maintaining all of that, um, and AI strategy. And together, we decided that that's the product, right?
Hmm.
So almost like chief product officer leads tooling, education, and AI strategy. So I was supposed to be the chief product officer, in terms of leading all three.
Yeah.
But and education and tooling, I had confidence that I would be able to lead. But AI strategy, I was not feeling that great. That,
Hmm.
I'm not skilled enough, or I'm not, I don't have the exposure to be leading this. Because again, for the last 9 months since I became CEO, it's been a very bureaucratic kind of job, right? It's change management, it's
Hmm.
talking to a lot of people, it's understanding where the problems are. So I've been away
Yeah.
from technology for a while. So I was feeling left behind on AI, and we did not have anyone. So we did put one of our senior people there, but again, he was also struggling. So when you we started we were and while all of this was happening, the post AI, our collaboration happened in the meantime, all of that. And yeah, and then when you um and I had been telling you this for a long time, right? Like, that I want you as a coach. So it all started from you spending the week actually at programming. You saw the team, you
Yeah.
saw the product, you saw the potential. And we had a good 1 week. We spent a lot of time together. So we saw that we're also kind of, we share the same energy, right?
Yeah.
So when we got talking, it was just such a easy decision that you're the
Hmm.
perfect person for the job.
Hmm.
um, and then that's what's also interesting is, we started with internal transformation, right? The conversation is, you come in, you coach the team, and then the coach and then leaders emerge from there. Kind of, it started with a coaching conversation, and almost not as hands on as the position has become.
Yeah.
So almost it started with a coaching conversation. But I don't know, like, I think, let me flip the question. At what point did you feel like this deserves a different engagement model
Uh-huh.
than just coaching?
No, I think there are a couple of things because I've been doing upskilling work for a considerable time now. If we see it in AI years terms, then I think it's a really long time. Like 2.5 years is a really long time to be doing AI upskilling with the way the technology is moving. And initially, I came with the idea that okay, like there could be a process in which I can support the internal team to actually get up to speeds, and then they can do it because that's always been the dominant leadership style that I had of allowing things to emerge. But then that is only possible when I see a lot of potential of movement very fast. Like if that is not there, but then probably it becomes a bit counterproductive to actually enable the existing set of individuals to actually get up to the level and then do it, because then it starts becoming a bit suboptimal, that we could actually work together, and then in the process of doing the work we could actually level up and then actually move forward in that direction. And I think in the case of AI, actually it's probably not even leveling up is not really the right word. I think the right mindset to operate with a specific kind of mindset on an everyday basis, because like even if we go and reflect back on today's conversation in the office, it is more about getting clarity on the steps that we do, and then technology is a part of it, but then it is a lot of strategy to it. So I think that when I saw that, I think that really, like, there was a tick that I think I told you pretty quickly that as well, that probably it has to be an engagement where, like it is more of like delivering stuff rather than enabling stuff. And I think the other thing that I really really like is that the compiler and then the visualizer that we have. That's like incredible piece of technology, right? And I know that because I've been exposed to that mass that is trying to transition in the post AI world, or trying to be the career upskillers, or people who are trying to get into AI from different kinds of domains. I know their pain, and I know that how
Hmm.
why the compiler and then the visualizer actually solves a big problem for them in understanding, right? Because like, in today's time, you can just write code, you can generate code, you can push code, all of that can happen, but then you can actually generate code, but then you cannot really generate understanding. And that really is like super powerful for me to actually invest whatever amount of time I'm investing in this process. So yeah, that was the ticker. And yeah, that's how I see it.
Got it. Yeah, and I think you were the first person to kind of combine the online code compiler that we have, where anybody can go on a browser and run a piece of code and see the
Yeah,
output,
yeah,
and the visualizer, which also runs similarly, but instead of giving you the output, it takes you step by step and visually shows you what each line of code is doing, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think I was not able to put those two technologies together in one bucket, but when you said that these are both simulations,
yeah,
or simulated kind of simulations of real world work, right? Because we are using both of
yeah,
them for learning. That really hit me,
yeah,
in the sense that yes, that's really our superpower, is we are able to simulate real work. Or we
yeah.
are able to simulate the kind of environment where a real software developer would be working.
Yeah, and I think like like the day we had this conversation, the morning of that day, I was in a class with some of our cohorts that is running, and then these are senior people trying to get into AI, and then you use AI in their org transformation, and then this is the exact pain that I saw just in that morning, that they were trying to put some code over there, but then the understanding was not there. And then we had to really drill down and then explain each levels to them. But then if a technology like that is there, then it just becomes so much easier to actually connect the dots. And then I think it really accelerates the skilling process for them. But then when we just see the skilling process for these people who are upskillers, it actually works pretty similarly for the students as well, because like even in colleges, everyone is using like generative AI tools. Everyone is using ChatGPT. Everyone is generating code through all generative AI models. And I think this kind of layers, I think, becomes super powerful even for education institutes and teachers, that you can actually teach understanding to students, which I think is going to be super powerful as they build their careers. Because as in when agents are writing codes, people who are actually be able to decipher what is written and then the different levels of it, I think that is going to be fairly important, and probably a big competitive edge for everyone. And then when I saw the visualizer, I was like, wow, this. And I could actually at that point, it was almost like a moment I could just not see anything else, and I was just like seeing the visualizer. I was like, this is the most beautiful tech that is
Love at first sight.
love at first sight. So relevant, so relevant in today's time. And I think the so
Mhm.
this is the product side. The other side that was very very exciting for me is that the willingness that you as a CEO have towards the organizational transformation that AI can do, and then the kind of investments that you are so quick to make on tooling, and then to enable that kind of environment in the organization. I think that is the kind of ripe environment where we can actually get into a kind of a workplace which is very supercharged by agentic AI, and then we have a lot of these things going around. So I think that was very exciting, because this is the frontier. This is something new. Every organization in the world is trying to find how to do it, and then like just being at the frontier was very exciting on that side as well.
Got it. Yeah, for context, we moved from everybody using Windows laptops, Microsoft Teams, and Google Docs to everybody in the office switching to MacBooks, Slack, and Notion in 1 week.
It just changes how people think.
Just changes how people think. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just mature tooling, right? It just amplifies,
yeah,
like having this kind of modern tooling really uh, amplifies your expectation of technology.
yeah, yeah. And I
and
think
also
the
and also and also like I expect these softwares to be bug free. At least
Mhm.
at least a a communication tool
Yeah.
needs to be bug free, right? Microsoft Teams has so many bugs. It's just crazy.
Mhm.
It's just crazy how such a fundamental piece of software can be so bad.
Yeah, I mean, like probably also, like I mean, like obviously it is like very solid piece of technology, but then I think like some virtual environments inspire innovation, or like as I said, like you start thinking in a certain way, like like Teams you can message as well. I mean, you can interact there, you can write documents and stuff like that, but then the interaction is very different on a Slack. And then when you combine the power of Slack and Notion, then this becomes very powerful. I mean, like I would go as far as to say that probably Discord is where I really find myself in terms of digital tooling. But then for businesses, I think yeah, Slack is great. The other side, which for me is very exciting, because like obviously being a part of this process, being a part of the journey that you are so committed to, is so amazing for me as well, just out of the lens of a professional capacity. But then the other thing that is very interesting for me is that growth, how to grow the business, especially digitally, is something that is a learning edge for me as well. And that is something that I see you doing really well, that I see people in the team doing really well, so just being that part of the ecosystem, like it is equally beneficial for me as well as an individual. And then when I'm trying to like formulate the core engine of how I run businesses, I see that part not so at an optimal level for me. And over this year, I think like this is what I'm also looking forward to learn. So I think like all of this coming together just makes it a like perfect environment. And obviously on top of that, it cannot really go anywhere without the like enjoyment of working together. Like it might be the fanciest environment, and then like it might be the fanciest like whatever, but then I think like until unless like we really enjoy creating with each other, then I think that doesn't really work. So I think like these are the kind of things that I was like I am very excited to bring to the team. And then there's some really amazing people in the team, right? To where
I know.
who are very open also. But then there is so much to learn. I mean, like I mean, like I look at some people in the team right now, and then I was like, wow. I mean, like like just imagine 1 year spending with them, and then like I could actually learn so much that I'm so excited apart from apart from what I bring to the table.
Yeah, and I think it's been a week, right, since the formal engagement started.
Yeah,
uh, and then I think um the expectation versus reality part was, I thought you would come in and talk about AI agents and this and that. And it all started with how do we work? How do we achieve, like whatever work, and you calling it workflows, but
yeah,
you know like how does every department work? How does every person work, right?
yeah,
How do we get from point A to point B in the organization? How does a course get published?
yeah,
um, so it started with that knowledge layer and documentation of that knowledge layer,
yeah,
which again even today we were discussing is, even in a non-AI world, like forget the AI agents and AI coworkers, all that, it's such a like as much as it is an AI transformation, it is a structural people transformation, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so that was completely unexpected for me, is that you would start with kind of like almost starting with the mission,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Because again, as you're trying to augment AI into your organization, if there's no mission behind it,
Hmm.
and the fact that the soul of the company comes from the mission,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, it's very easy to get lost in the technology if the soul is missing.
Yeah.
And I think having
And
those
then,
layers that keep the technology in check, right?
hmm,
And then keep on reorienting the technology towards the North Star, which is the mission again.
hmm.
So that was the most interesting bit for me.
Yeah, no, I think this stays true for everything, right? Because I think one thing that I've noticed is that for any organization, there is obviously going to be a mission statement, which is very it has a lot of sanctity to it, because that is what the leadership is moving towards. That is what everyone is moving towards. But then I think in organizations that it just becomes very easy for that to fizzle out, and it's just very easy for that to get miscommunicated if not documented rightly. So I think we like just like an LLM, right? Like the kind of instruction that we give it to it, the kind of output that we get out of it, right? So I think, yeah, like there is no point probably talking about any agentic frames or any co-workers that we can actually obviously build for the kind of things that we do before actually understanding where are we headed. And I think this is the organizational transformation that really really excites me, on how can we really crystallize what we need to do as an organization, be so sure about it, and then build AI that can enable us to do that faster and then more repetitively, and then without not having to depend on humans so much. And especially in the country like ours, like especially where the talent that we found in the ecosystem is like to find senior talent is very very difficult here in Nepal, like across the board, right? This gives a really powerful opportunity where we can actually bring down a lot of that to documents, bring that a lot of that to systems, so that even if there are junior people, their work can actually be augmented to a lot more higher level. And these are kind of research that has already come out that rather than it does help us senior people, but then it helps us junior people a lot more. But how it will help us junior people a lot more is when the systems are very online with where the organization is headed. And once that happens, even if in a place where there is so much churn of talent, which I was very surprised that programmers does not have that problem. But then when we see across the board that this is actually where I see a lot of tech companies having to invest, which will actually solve a big human resource problem for us as an ecosystem.
And I think this solves my confusion of why do you call these AI coworkers and not AI agents?
Yeah.
Is uh, that's I feel that's the difference. Is AI agent is doing a task, is executing a
Hmm.
task or a workflow. It doesn't know the mission of the company,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So in a way, like by including these cultural elements or
Hmm.
very human elements into the
Yeah.
context that we send to the AI engine,
Hmm.
you're kind of giving the LLMs a mission, or whatever workflow a mission, and that's the point where it becomes an AI coworker.
Hmm.
Um, did I get that right? Like why
Yeah.
are you
Yeah.
using constantly saying AI coworker and not AI
Yeah.
agent?
Yeah, because everyone is actually working towards the same goal. I think one of the discussions that we are having, right? So there is an organizational goal, and there are people that need to head towards that organization goal. Not people, I mean like roles. And I think a part of those roles could actually become the AI co-workers if we orchestrate them well. And that is the power that generative AI has brought to us when we orchestrate it well, right? And I was having a conversation with Simon today afternoon after you left, and then we were having a conversation on verification and then why we need human in the loop and stuff like that. And then at one point he was like, I don't know at this point of time, do I trust a human or an LLM more? Which actually makes a lot of sense. Because if it is
Yeah.
orchestrated well, the repeatability of an LLM is going to be a lot more higher. And then obviously we are not depending on one LLM engine. There is a council that actually reiterates critiques and then builds a certain kind of output. And that part is very exciting. And then even with a 30 people team, we probably can, like 10x, 20x, 30x the output, with just the repeatability of the things. And but then going from here till there, I think the mindset shift is so critical, because the process, the way we think about documents, the way we think about structures is fundamentally different. And then I think tech is not a very complicated layer on top of it, because it's a matter of engineering, which program is tooling team is very, very strong at.
I think what's also important in that discussion is, you talked about mindset, right? I think if any organization is looking for, like, okay, AIS has happened or LLMs have happened, and this is
Yeah,
a big transformational change, and kind of a C-suite, the board, we talked about this, the board is pressing the panic button, right? AI panic button. And the first challenge really is, before you even start talking about agents and AI implementation and all of that,
yeah,
is the mindset transformation, is how do we go from fear to
yeah,
excitement,
yeah.
right? I think that's the biggest thing that you bring to the
Hmm.
table,
Hmm.
is I can find maybe other people who may have the same skills as you in terms
Hmm.
of the agenting side, the tech side, all of that.
Yeah,
But you really bring this excitement about, like, turning, you have this ability to, I don't know, you're just dialed in. I use that word, right? You're just
yeah,
dialed in on this idea of, you know I am going to map every workflow and figure out where LLM or some AI is a better suited uh, person,
yeah, yeah,
or agent to execute that part of the workflow, and also elevate the parts that humans are the best at, right?
yeah.
Like surface, enable the humans to do more higher value work
Hmm.
instead of doing repetitive work.
Yeah,
So just getting that excitement within the company is the biggest challenge, I feel, because I had been trying to do this AI transformation for a long time
yeah,
internally as well,
yeah.
but the fear was just so rampant.
Hmm.
And I think changing that, and we're a tech company.
Yeah,
Imagine the situation in non-tech companies, right?
yeah.
The fear
No, no, I
was so
think,
huge,
I, yeah.
and imagine the fear in regulated industries,
Hmm.
highly regulated industries,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. No, I think like for tech companies, probably we see the problem a bit more. For legacy industries, I've seen probably the exposure to the problem is also not there enough. But then I think there are two pieces that we've been talking, right? One is that we definitely need a AI adoption kind of driver in any organization in today's time, so that who is completely aloof from other things that are happening in the organization. And then we also discussed that why it cannot be a department, and it actually is a strategic position which goes across domain.
Yeah.
And the other thing that is definitely emerging, and I think like probably like I have not seen really anyone talk about, is that uh, when we go into agentic systems, we would need workflow engineers to be a very, very critical part of the talent management department, because talent management as a function is evolving so much. And I think that is something that, like when we have 15 agents and then one of the agents is not functioning properly, that would actually screw up a lot of workflows that we might have built, right? So we would need those kind of roles. And I think these are the kind of roles that companies should prepare for moving forward, if they really want to capture the value of AI, for sure.
Mhm. Another interesting thought that came as like, it wasn't a huge surprise, but when I saw kind of the bigger picture of it, was the tech has to come to your communication channel, which is Slack or Teams or whatever, Discord, whatever you use. And we saw that example, right, where, for example, the productivity boost from having that technology coming to Slack is the learning that one person achieves when doing that, gets immediately transferred to the entire organization. And the example I discussed today was, for example, I prompted Perplexity to generate an on-brand image for me
Yeah,
after multiple prompts.
yeah,
And the problem is, another person in my organization is using, for example, a different tool, ChatGPT maybe, right? They're also using pro version, whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they're starting the same thing from scratch again,
Yeah.
and they're using a different model. So the prompt, I can't transfer my prompt to them because
Yeah.
that prompt might not work for that other model.
Yeah.
So really, the organization is relearning. Every person in the organization is relearning things that could have been kind of centralized. That knowledge could have been transferred really quickly
Yeah.
as a document, and like use this model, use this prompt,
Mhm.
uh, and then again all the context that that task or
Yeah.
that piece of the workflow required, I put it in one place.
Mhm.
Could be again, it could be in a GitHub repository, wherever, right?
Yeah.
That prompt and that context,
Yeah.
and then you just need to give the specifics of what you want right now, and then you immediately, and then if you learn something new about that process,
Mhm.
you can modify the original prompt to make it better. But
Yeah.
then there would have to be an eval process to make sure that other
Mhm.
people's work doesn't get screwed because of that change. But the
Yeah.
idea is just so powerful that the learning can be transferred at that scale.
Yeah.
It's just I feel like it's new. This is the part that is new with LLMs,
Yeah.
is the fact that business workflows can now be described in English is the biggest unlock for me for LLMs, because those business workflows had to be translated into code, right?
Yeah.
And then that's where engineer had to come in, and then that there was this huge translation that the non-technical person had to do to the technical, even the technical person to himself,
Yeah.
right, or herself, that this is the business requirement, and how do I get to the code that delivers on this business requirement. And there's also these constraints of time, priorities. There are 10 other codes to be written,
Mhm.
all of that. I think again, English as the business layer is just
Mhm.
is just English or whatever language as the business layer.
Yeah.
One brings a lot of non-technical people into the mix. So there's really like, I don't know, I don't even know what it means to be a tech person anymore, right?
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
a lot of non, like even today, right? Rashmita, our HR, you saw how
Yeah.
she was had moved
That's the thing
everything.
I was going to say after this.
This is
She's
insane,
creating
isn't it? The fact
she's
she is
creating her
adopting
own
AI
workflow. She's
faster
got
than
it
the,
right. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
yeah,
And then it's like she's not come from a coding background, like I don't know, we can term
yeah.
how do we term technical right now, but then yeah, I think like some people just like, it just clicks. And I think that's the biggest asset in today's time. I was talking to Avinash Dai recently, and then he was like, well, like when you learned how to do this, like, you're trying to figure out, like, how stuff happens, and then suddenly, like, when it clicks, then there is no going back, and how it works. And I think like that is what we probably need to figure out, for a lot of people. But then yeah, I think like very very encouraging signs. I'm just so excited by the quality of the team that is there. And yeah, I think like it's solving a real problem, which is getting bigger and bigger. And also in that process, how do we re-engineer the organization? That's something that's very exciting.
Yeah, I think okay, goes to point almost point four of what I expected, and like what happened
Yeah.
is initially when kind of I was drafting or thinking about what we want to achieve in 2026 and what we want to achieve in 2027.
Yeah.
The idea was that we just did not have a rich enough course library to be valuable to many people, because we were teaching coding but we were not teaching them practical skills, right? And
Yeah.
we had spent the last year kind of working towards that, but the problem was we were doing it in Python. Python was not used inside programming. Anyways, there were other
Yeah.
problems as well, but the
Yeah.
point was the like we would reduce the gap between the technologies we use at programmers and the technology we teach at programmers.
Yeah.
And and the larger goal for 2027 was then we would go to the Nepalese tech community and ask them to contribute courses, right? But with kind of the agentic workflows that we are working for, really we can be ambitious. Like we can, I see us catching up to big players like DataCamp and Code Academy
Yeah.
within a year,
Yeah.
right?
I agree.
So AI transformation is also, the way I see it, is it is a recalibration of the expectations you can have, or the ambitions you can have for your company being in a place like Nepal,
Yeah.
as you said, right?
Yeah.
Is I would have never thought this possible
Mhm.
just 3 or 4 months back if you had told me that, oh, I would have this ambition that I want to have the same course library, rich course library, as rich as Codecademy or Data Camp in a year, because they are funded, they have lots of people, they have lots of structure, right? They have this
Yeah.
rich history. They are in the ecosystems which have the best people. They
Hmm.
have so much going on for them, and we have
Yeah.
so much going against us.
Against us. Yeah.
But really, I'm seeing this like such a great equalizer
Yeah.
in terms of where we can.
Yeah. Definitely. Uh, I think for any business to actually look at AI adoption, we'll have to look at the value delta, and then like where the AI adoption can actually amplify that value delta and then make it bigger. And I think if it is not doing that, then I think it doesn't really make a lot of sense, and it'll probably be a project somewhere. But then yeah, I think with the course development and then the engagement of the community, and then the workflows taking charge of the orchestration of the entire process, it suddenly becomes very powerful, and then that is something that's very exciting for us to see. um, Amazing. How well are you feeling right now? How long do you think we should go? We are at
No, we
35
can go.
minutes.
We can go.
We are at 35 minutes already.
I think one more theme comes to mind
Yeah.
when we talk about this is, for example, the kind of consultancy work that you do with banks, which I wasn't a fan of a few months back. uh,
Few weeks back.
now, yeah, you know, in regulated industries like banks and BFIs,
Yeah.
where it's extremely difficult to have differentiation,
Yeah.
because the Reserve Bank will not allow you to have too much differentiation,
Yeah.
right? For example, I don't expect a bank in Nepal to bring one. They don't have their own technology. Most banks,
Yeah.
they've outsourced it all to one company, which kind of can say no,
Yeah.
right? Like, for example, one bank wants to bring a differentiated product.
Yeah.
It is not in their hands to build that product. They
Hmm.
have outsourced their, uh, which is kind of sad. I don't know. I have mixed feelings around that.
Yeah.
Uh, is at least I have a functional bank app in my hand.
Hmm.
If the banks were building it themselves,
Hmm.
I don't think it would have been even 1/10 as good as it
No,
is,
I
right?
think there's a big problem with that. So sorry to cut you off. I think there's a big problem with that when I'm exposed to that ecosystem too. First is that the top talent in the country doesn't want to go and work for a bank. So the top software developers, the top data engineers, AI adoption engineers, none of them want to go and work for a bank, and that is a reality. And I see like some really forward thinking bankers like Suman sir from Global IME, Amit sir from Lakshmi Sunrise Bank. Them are really trying to come and connect with the ecosystem so that more and more people can think. Because when I go and see a bank, then I really see a great opportunity for a lot of young engineers to go and work there, right? But then there is some problem with the with the pay scales, and then like the work environments, and then the work timings, because the tech ecosystem is used to work in a totally different setup, and then bank does not appeal for them. Now, when that happens, banks in Nepal won't have the top technical pool that they could get for, even though if you if you if you go and Google who are the top 10 top companies in Nepal, nine of them I think are banks, right? So the top 10 companies of Nepal do not attract the top talent, so there is a big talent gap in what they do. So, and that results in you as a consumer saying that if the bank was building the mobile app, probably it would not happen at the great level, right? But I think what I've seen a big differentiation is how banks can actually use AI to engage their customers a lot more better, because banking as an industry cannot grow by like 100%. Like there is one bank which probably has maybe like 1,500, 2,500, 3,000 employees, and probably serving to like maybe 30 lakh, 40 lakh customers. Now that pie is not going to grow by like 100 times, because the population is as such. But if they engage the consumers a lot more better, then I think there is a big differentiation over there as well, which does not have to do with regulation, but has to do with how the bank operates. And especially with the banks that we're working, that is something that I think a lot of banks are really understanding that, okay, that is where AI can actually be a big differentiator. It might not be in the other things that are that deeply regulated by the government, but then in the consumer facing sites and the relationship facing sites, I see a big potential for sure.
And then I think there's one problem with when you don't think things through, right? For example, say one bank suddenly decides that I want to own my app,
Yeah,
and I want to build
which
my own
happened,
experience. I want to
which happened
bring a
recently.
yeah. And then the problem is, even if they build a much better app than, for example, that PhonePe could build, they are now locked out of the PhonePe network.
Hmm.
So it won't be useful to the customer at all.
Yeah,
So really, you have put yourself in such a situation where you have transferred your mode to another company.
yeah.
Uh, I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know how to feel about that. Like, uh, um, yeah, mixed feelings. I'm glad that I have a good app to use and that
Hmm.
I have to carry cash,
Yeah,
and that wouldn't have happened if hadn't handed over their consumer technology to the tech company that can attract the best talent, right?
yeah, yeah,
Uh, but I think the way I feel it is, wallets should exist and they should be built by proper fintech companies,
yeah.
but the bank apps should be, and they should have the QR layer,
Yeah.
right? Like India does.
Hmm.
But the bank should be building their own mobile apps.
Hmm. Yeah, I
I don't know. A
think.
lot of people. I don't know. I might get phone calls.
No, I think like
But you know.
maybe maybe yes. I think probably that's a decision on how the bank wants to see it. But I think, like, like, I don't see that to be a reality, especially especially having understood the tech landscape inside banks. I definitely don't see that to be to be a reality. So.
Mhm. Yeah, you are a weird guy, Alok. You are like, it's very hard to find a tech guy who's. It's very hard for a tech person to embed yourself inside kind of traditional industries like you have. Uh, I think very few people manage to do that. It's very rare in Nepal to see kind of a tech guy embed themselves in, uh, like, I think the like almost a forward deployed coach, right? I use this word forward deployed a lot
Hmm.
because the two engagement models most companies have
Yeah,
with traditional industries is, one, I will build the tech for you and kind of hijack you, and pin you to the ground later on,
hmm, hmm.
which you could argue that the mobile apps have done.
Yeah,
uh, or two, I will become this consultant person who will run a workshop and just leave, right? um, I think this forward deployed consultant kind of role that you're doing, even at Program is, even the way Simon and Ruchi are working with me, this forward deployed kind of role, is a very interesting kind of role that is going to emerge more and more. I feel is because a consultant is kind of useless, right? I don't need a consultant. I need someone who will come and fix my shit. This idea of a forward deployed consultant, right,
yeah,
is going to be so powerful because the impact one person can have on a business
yeah,
when they're bringing a team of like AI agents with them
yeah.
is just crazy. So I think
Hmm.
this is going to be a kind of, I feel like this is the future of work is, um, again, consultants who just do coaching can achieve X.
Yeah,
uh, Outsourcing my workflows to a tech company that operates from the outside has risks because I'm giving my mode to someone else.
hmm,
So this idea of a forward deployed consultant who comes
yeah,
in, sets up shop inside your organization, also brings a team of
yeah,
implementers, right? Actual
yeah,
implementers. This is going to be huge, I think, and companies should be paying big bucks for that kind of surgical strike kind of teams,
yeah,
right? Or
yeah,
SWAT teams that come in,
yeah,
set up shop inside the organization, fix problems,
yeah,
transfer that knowledge to the organization and leave,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
use that case study to do the similar transformation in the same industry in another org faster,
Faster.
and then
Yeah.
have that compounding impact where they become this insane, you know, really a force that you cannot ignore.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that I really feel sad about the Nepalese workforce. I feel like one piece of the Nepalese workforce that's missing is people don't leave until they become completely irrelevant inside the organization. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I think I think it's both ways, right?
Like I
It is
see very few people
very
leave
difficult.
organizations at their peak.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. We should, and I think it's both ways, right? It is very difficult for us to probably have very difficult conversations around when we should exit and when we should leave a certain kind of place, and it doesn't have to be a dramatic end to something before things fall off. One thing on the forward deployed teams, and I think like that is something that I really see that I as an individual bringing in value to organizations, but the difference with any other organization and program is that program is the tooling team is very strong, so the entire set of teams would not be necessary in an organization like program is. When if we have to go into any legacy organization, then it's a totally different story. When the foundation layer team that translates the AI strategy into systems, I think that becomes very important, and I think like even in banks, that is what we're seeing increasingly.
If you pay 1 year's
Awesome.
salary for any of my employees to me,
Hmm.
I will give them
Yeah.
to you.
Okay, it's a good thought. Okay, awesome. No, I think it's no, overall is very exciting. I think like thank you for bringing me in, and I think it is very exciting for me to see like what we can collectively achieve. Obviously, there is all of this post AI nation and then community building initiative that we have put ourselves into. But then I think like there is a lot for me to learn from you and lots for me to learn from the team as well. And then like whatever value I can bring in as a part of the process is obviously very exciting for me. Anything else that you would want to touch upon today?
Yeah, yeah, there is one thing. There is one thing. So
Yeah,
Disney did something crazy yesterday. What they did was they own the rights to the movie High School Musical, which is one of the
yeah,
cult classics, right?
yeah.
And then on, yeah, I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday, it was their 20th anniversary.
Hmm.
So what they did was they chopped up the video into the whole movie into, I don't know, 20 or 50 parts,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
then they released each episode on TikTok,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And the bet I think they're trying to make is the movie watching experience is now different because
Hmm.
you watch five minutes of the movie,
Hmm.
go look at the comments, engage with the comments, or just talk like because the comments give you a different perspective to every scene, right? It's like a
Yeah.
public place where kind of it's a public square where people are discussing the movie in real time
Hmm. Hmm.
and then voting on the best ideas,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
like because the top comments surface up,
Hmm.
and then you go to the next one because TikTok algorithm knows which part it is. So part two, again you go to the comments, all of that, and the TikTok algorithm again is smart enough to know the best parts of the movie
Hmm.
or the ones that get the highest engagement,
Yeah.
and then distribute those parts more to other people.
Hmm.
That brings traffic to the overall channel and the other parts as well.
Hmm.
So uh, you know AI is going to change the way AI is able to distribute uh, chunks of
Yeah.
audio is going to change the product as well, right? Like even this podcast, we were till now we were thinking of, okay, let's chop up, let us decide which are the most interesting bits. We sit down every
Yeah.
week and decide that. What if we just chopped up the like this podcast into 5 minute plus minus kind
Yeah.
of? We don't want to chop up where a thought is in the middle, right?
Yeah.
So this idea of, okay, let me just take 5 minutes, around 5 minute chunks, let the current thought end,
Yeah.
maybe plus minus 1 minute,
Hmm.
some algorithm that does that,
Hmm.
and then upload all of it and
Hmm.
let the algorithm do its job.
Do his job. Makes sense. I mean, like maybe
So it's
something
just,
we should.
I think, I don't know, it affected me in some way. it affected me in a way, like I just geeked out over that idea of
Mhm.
the whole movie watching experience. It's a different movie watching experience, right?
Yeah, yeah.
uh, and I think people don't have time or the patience to watch 3 hour movies. So
Hmm.
I don't it I don't like that people don't have that patience. But I
Yeah.
also appreciate the genius of Disney in understanding what's happening with the kind of the new, in the new world.
No, I mean, like we cannot really. Obviously, we'll have to do stuff that is that is right general for humanity. But then I think it's very difficult to beat human behavior. Obviously, there are going to be counter intuitive thoughts for or against it. But then I think the way human behavior, it that is how it needs to be distributed. And then for us also, as a like how we distribute this podcast probably will keep on evolving. Now that Ashutosh has
Yep.
become a crazy editor. Makes sense. Okay.
I mean, his edits are insane, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like today I
The
was
AI
watching.
images in the middle, they're
Yeah,
just
today there was one image which had like people asking you questions and you laughing. I was like, that's crazy. That was amazing. That was tough stuff. Okay, awesome. I think like maybe
yeah.
we can wrap up today at this thought. Very exciting, and I think like when we meet in 2 weeks' time, a lot would have already happened, and then excited to see where it goes. Awesome. Thank you
Yep.
everyone for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.
Yep. And we'll have lots of updates. So I think the podcast is now going to be even more fun because we'll be talking more
Yeah.
about like the real
We-
lessons from the
yeah.
ground, right? It's not theory
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. 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 It's not theory anymore. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Take care, guys. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye.